Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Carla if you're new here, and I make videos about how I show up for myself in hopes of inspiring you to do the same. And by showing up for myself, I transformed my whole life. I overhauled my mental health and dealt with some really difficult mental issues that I'd had my whole life. I also lost half my body weight, which is probably the reason that you're here if you're interested in a weight loss hack video, because that's what I'm going to be talking about today. If this is the kind of content that you like, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. It helps out my channel and helps to grow it and helps me to be able to keep doing this. In today's video, I am going to be chatting to you about 5 weight loss hack ideas, tips that make weight loss just that little bit easier, because let's face it, it's not easy, is it? It can be simple, but it's not easy to just keep doing the slog every day. This is just little hacks that I learned from losing 180 pounds that helped me to be consistent, because that's what weight loss is about. It's about being consistent one day after another until we reach our goal weight. My number 1 hack is meal planning. I'm not talking about meal prepping. There is a very big difference. I do not want to spend a Sunday standing in the kitchen, chopping up vegetables and doing 17,000 other things and making a big pot of stew and a pot of soup and all this other kind of stuff. It just does not work for me. I have done it in the past, but it's not the way I like to approach this. And so meal planning is something that helped me to be consistent in my calorie deficit, to be consistent with the food that I was eating. What I would do is I would sit down with my partner once a week and we would go through our week. We'd literally write down Monday to whatever day we were doing it and put down our 2 meals. We intermittent fast, so lunch and dinner. And then we would see if we have an event or if we have a night out or if I'm going to be out at meetings all day or him, and we would cross that off for each person, so we'd know that, we don't need lunch on Wednesday because we'll be out for that. And then we would fill that in based on what we have left over in the fridge, what we have left over in the freezer, and what we can then make meals from. And we would kind of have a set idea of, the typical things that we would eat each week, and we'll kind of insert them in based on what we have, and then go to the supermarket, the grocery store, and fill the trolley with just what we need. Come home and then that food is in the fridge and it's ready for us. And what happens with that is that it's Tuesday and we're not feeling so great because we've had a really hard day. We've been screamed at, or we missed a deadline, or we forgot to do something, or something we worked on, all of these things. The kids have had a nightmare. We got called into the PTA meeting, whatever it is. 7 o'clock and we're standing in front of the fridge. We're going, what are we going to eat tonight? And there is that impulse then to order takeaway or to just make a bowl of pasta, and something that's going to take us further away rather than closer to our goal. And the best thing that we can do then is look at our meal plan and go, this is what I'm making tonight. You're taking away that decision fatigue of that fight that you have with yourself when you're in an emotional state, because you have made that decision of what you're going to eat on a Tuesday night when you were emotionally regulated, when you were not in a heightened state of anxiety or stress or exhaustion, all of which can lead us to wanting to eat something that is comforting. And the food can still be comforting, but it doesn't have to be a takeaway pizza. It helps to reduce food waste. It helps to reduce the cost of food bills because you know what you are buying. And as I said, the most important thing is it's helping you to stay on track, but you don't have that decision fatigue. Because I don't know about you, but I make about 4,000 decisions a day, and sometimes I just don't want to make another decision at nighttime. So I'm like, that's fine. Yeah, let's just get a takeaway. It's grand. So meal planning and having that food in the fridge and doing our shop once a week is time saving, it's convenient, and it does help us to keep us on track. Similar to this was to decide my meals that morning, or you've already decided because you're meal planning, and counted those calories and then left room for snacks afterwards. In doing so, your meal plan, your breakfast, lunch and dinner, or lunch and dinner if you intermittent fast, are set in stone. But then it gives you some wiggle room then for your calories, for your snack. These are things that you're like, you feel a bit more. Maybe I want a salty snack today. Maybe I want a sweet snack today. Maybe I don't want one at all. And by having that recorded already in your app, whatever you're using, you are aware then of how many calories you have left. For example, even if you know that typically the lunch and dinner that you're going to be eating are a certain amount of calories, if you have a big snack between lunch and dinner and you end up eating a load of things because you're a bit hungry. You've come to your dinner and you're actually not left with enough calories left over for your dinner. I can be a big snacker. It's something that can be the downfall of me, and I will snack and then realize I've eaten all of my calories left for the day in my snack. So even though I had planned to have vegan Kiev and some new potatoes and something for dinner, I actually don't have the calories left over for that because I've snacked too much. So deciding what you're going to have and then leaving that wiggle room for calories for snacks helps you to kind of satiate that, you know, wanting to have a little bit something nice, but not letting you go over your calories. So then you are cooking your dinner, and this is hack number 3. We're again back to the snacking. Have you ever found that you're just in the kitchen and you've eaten a slice of toast, you've eaten half a block of cheese, you've eaten a load of other things before you have even made dinner? Kind of like you're still going to eat dinner because you've made the dinner even though you might not be that hungry. This helped me, which was cutting up veg and having that as my snack while I was cooking and counting the calories of whatever I was having so that I wasn't mindlessly eating that spoonful of peanut butter that you might throw in your mouth. That could be 200 calories before you even think about it. By cutting up veg or something, like my favorite one is to cut up half a cucumber, put some salt and pepper on it, and then I have that to munch on while I am cooking. I'm satiating that need for food. Having that and pre-portioning that and calorie counting that helps you then to not eat everything around you. Tip number 4 then is to not save the best till last. So you've made your meal, you know what you're planning, you know what you're having, you come down, you cook it, you've had your couple of snacks, you've eaten your cut up veg, you're ready to go, you sit down for your meal, and then you eat everything around it, and then you leave the best to last. By leaving the best to last, sometimes we are actually full, but the thing that we wanted the most on the plate is what is most appealing, and therefore we want to eat that thing. Whereas if we switch that and we eat what we really want to first, and then if we're not hungry, if we're satiated with that at the end of that, it stops us from overeating. As part of Body Slims, if you've ever done it, you might know that we talk about calorie as a limit, not a target. So you might even have, that might be within your calories, but you might not actually need it. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to stop myself from overeating just for the sake of it. Sometimes I don't need something and I allow myself to satiate by eating the thing that I want at the start. So like the vegan Kiev will be like my number one thing. That is like, I'm going to eat that. So instead of eating that last, I'm going to eat that first and enjoy it. And then if I want everything else that's around it as well, then I will have it. If I'm like, actually, I don't need that extra potato, I don't need that potato. It's interesting to see how when we actually start to listen to our bodies and kind of connect with ourselves, we might not need as much as we think we do. And then my final hack for this video is to keep your food out of sight, out of mind. I'll give you an example. I currently have a jar of Biscoff spread in our house. I went through a big Biscoff thing recently and wanting Biscoff, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And if I am not careful, I will end up eating spoon after spoon after spoon of that and raking up about 500 calories. It's not doing anything for me except feeding my tongue and like, you know, giving me that feeling of, oh, I just want another bit. So instead of having that Biscoff spread in front of me when I open the fridge or in front of me when I open the pantry, I kind of hide it on myself. I put it to the back of the pantry, or I get rid of it if I feel like I don't have that control over the compulsion. That is what I had to do with tortilla chips at the start. Tortilla chips were a huge thing for me. If I opened a bag, I would eat all of them. So keeping them out of the house, first of all, made it easier. I wasn't seeing them and therefore wasn't triggered or tempted. Or when I felt like it was a bit better, when I could actually manage myself and kind of control my id and keep myself grounded and not need that compulsion. But sometimes I would still see something and I'd be like, oh, I'd like a bit of that now. Whereas I wouldn't even have thought of it. It's just that like instant trigger. So when you see something, you might want it. So putting it out of sight. So changing the way you store your food. Keeping the things that are going to bring you closer to goal at the forefront so that you can reach for them first. If you are, you know, looking for a snack or you're looking for something that's maybe not on your meal plan, taking something that is going to bring you closer to your goal. So you're not just reaching for that Biscoff with a spoon. I know it seems really rudimentary, but it just takes that fight out of your brain. So if you are feeling a little peckish, you go to the fridge, you open it up, and there's that thing that you love, and you're like, oh, that's so good. If you take that out and it's no longer there and you can't see it, you're not as triggered by that. You know, I might be walking to the fridge to make something for my son. I'm not even hungry. And if I spot that, I'll be like, ooh. And you know that feeling that, ooh, I'd like it. Oh, that'd be nice. And would it be nice now? It would be nice, but it's going to bring her closer to our goal? Probably not. Guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Just 5 little hacks that have helped me to lose 180 pounds, to stay consistent. And if this is the type of thing that you like, please let me know down in the comments. Leave me any little hacks that you guys have down in the comments down below, and maybe leave me a brain emoji, because you know we're using our brains here today. If you would like a part 2 as well, let me know down in the comments. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. Follow me here, follow me over on Instagram, TikTok, all of the different places, and I will be back with you very soon with a new video. Thank you so much. I will love you and leave you, and please do not forget to show up for yourselves. Bye guys. This machine, if you just noticed yourself in the mirror for the first time.